The Orioles are back home at Camden Yards. Tonight, the Birds kick off a 7-game homestand against AL Central opponents. Up first, the Kansas City Royals. And Ubaldo Jimenez gets to the mound. He looks to get the homestand off to a good start. Game 1 up next. It's the Orioles on MANCINI on a warm Monday night in downtown Baltimore. It's the Orioles and the Kansas City Royals. Tonight, it's the opening game in this 3-game series. And hi, everyone. I'm Jim Hunter. Welcome to the ballpark. And today, the Major League Baseball trading deadline came and went, and the Orioles made a move. And Dan Duquette said afterwards, we are in it to win it. We think we have a shot. The Orioles picked up Tim Beckham from the Tampa Bay Rays. Now, Beckham having his best offensive season. He was the #1 overall pick in 2008, and probably more importantly, he is under team control through the 2020 season. The Orioles traded a minor league pitcher from Aberdeen, Tobias Myers, in exchange for Tim Beckham. And Mike Bordick, this shows you that the Orioles really believe that they have a chance to still get back in and get a playoff berth, but it also shows the versatility in the player they got, because Tim Beckham not only came up as a shortstop and still can play that, he also plays second base.
Yeah, and I think Beckham's bat is starting to pick up a little bit. He's starting to mature finally. I think 27, 28 years old. You know, first-round pick a number of years ago, and the maturity has taken a little bit of time. And, of course, picking up Hellickson as well, kind of bolstering the starting rotation. There's always been problems this season, especially with that rotation. So I think he's going to stabilize things a little bit out there and bring some veteran leadership as well. Maybe teach some guys a good changeup, because he definitely has a good one. He's been through it, 8-year veteran, little over 500 pitcher, but he knows how to pitch. And maybe just his veteran presence will help settle the rotation down a little bit. Listen, they made a couple moves. Is it going to be enough to get him over the top? I think this team believes in themselves. They've been playing some pretty good baseball this month.
And one player still here is Zach Britton. He's in the bullpen. We're coming back to Camden Yards. Lineups and first pitch are next. Is brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Oh, it is a lovely night downtown. Still a little warm. Our BGE Home game time temperature. BGE Home is Baltimore's home team for heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Why would you call anyone else? 86 degrees at first pitch. Humidity right there at 50%. Just a slight breeze out of the northeast. And the Kansas City Royals come in here, a red-hot team, and here is their lineup. Merrifield Kane and Melky Cabrera, his first game, just acquired yesterday from the White Sox. Eric Hosmer in that cleanup spot. Salvador Perez, he hits anywhere, but especially this year on this road trip, 444, going 8 for 18 with a couple of home runs. Moustakas, Moss, Escobar, and Gordon for Kansas City.
Now let's take a look at Ubaldo Jimenez's pitch arsenal. Yeah, he has them all for sure, and it's a question of whether or not he has command. But when he gets ahead of hitters, the split finger has come up big here recently. It did in his last start, 6 strong innings, only the 3 hits on the board, and he's going to have to need all of these pitches to neutralize this Kansas City offense. They have been red hot here recently, putting up some very big numbers here. One of the hottest teams in the American League for sure, if not all of baseball. See Ubaldo's numbers across the season. He has given up 23 home runs this season. He better be careful, keep it down in the zone, because yeah, the Royals all of a sudden turned into a home run hitting team this season. 130 homers. They've been known to be a gap-to-gap type team, but this year the power certainly showing up, and it's helping to propel them nearer the first place spot in the Central. Take a look at Ubaldo in his last start. Mentioned the 6 strong innings. Seems like a hit or miss with Ubaldo, but his last outing was perfect. Mixing in all of his pitches, keeping Tampa off balance throughout the ball game. The only 2 runs on the board, a 2-run shot by Longoria in the 6th inning. So Ubaldo kind of cruised through this ball game. Good location. Of course, the 2-seam fastball was working very well. It's going to be important that he commands that heater to get to his secondary pitches, keep this team off balance.
Well, he kept the Orioles in the game, but the Birds scored just 1 run that game off Alex Cobb and lost it 5-1, and the first pitch is down and away. And we are underway at Camden Yards. Here is Whit Merrifield, who's having a big-time season. 299, as you see. And he comes in red hot. And he pops it up. Jonathan Scope will back up. And he calls off Rickard, and he's there for the catch. 2 pitches, 1 down.
Big first out right there. Merrifield's been a huge table setter. Let's take a look at the rest of the Oriole defense. Gentry, Jones, and Rickard will roam the outfield here at Camden Yards. Tejada and Scope up the middle. Machado and Davis on the corners, and Caleb Joseph doing the catching tonight.
Here is Lorenzo Cain. Has that batting average up to 274 with a 4-game hitting streak. This Royals team, an amazing turnaround as this season for Ned Yost and his club turned into June. Everybody was saying, all those free agents you have, Ned, you got to make some deals. You got to get some young players. And the Royals stood pat and they turned it around. They had the worst record in the American League going into June. They have the best record in the American League since June.
Yeah, pretty amazing turnaround, and pretty much the same nucleus of players that led them to the World Series.
That ball slices away from Adam Jones, and he can't get to it. And it's now for a base hit, and Cain stays red hot, and he'll head the second with a double.
Cain been swinging it. Boy, 3 for 5 yesterday. Now take a look. The split season this year, as you were mentioning, before May 12th, 14-21 record. They weren't hitting very well. The runs per game were down. And of course, the starters earned run average good, but the bullpen really shaky. Since then, wow, have they turned the corner. About as hot as anybody in the game. 41 wins, 275 batting average, and 5 runs per game. That'll certainly do the trick. Starters up, but the bullpen has been outstanding for this club here recently, and I think that's been a huge key. Yeah, the starters kind of keeping them in the ball game. The bullpen, much like the Orioles, slamming the door and letting the offense do some work.
There's Melky Cabrera. He takes ball 1. Well, the Royals, you can point back in the numbers we just saw. That was after the Orioles series. They swept 3 from the Orioles May 12th through the 14th. And it was in that series they got their confidence back a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, because the Orioles got off to a pretty good start and then went into Kansas City and got swept.
Right. Those were real close ball games. All 3 of them actually 1-run games. And those are kind of the type of games that can really build the confidence. It certainly did for this team. They started believing in themselves, and slowly but surely, you know, started to play the Kansas City Royal baseball that really started back in the winter of 2012 when they made a couple big trades over the winter, landing a couple pitchers. Those pitchers we know, Wade Davis for one of them.
Cabrera fouls off the breaking ball. Well, Ubaldo, he has lost 3 consecutive starts, although his start last Wednesday, that was a lack of run support. He certainly pitched well enough to win with a quality start. And the Orioles need this rotation to turn around. There's no doubt about it. Down and in for ball 2. Kevin Gausman was outstanding on Saturday night in Texas. And Wade Miley serviceable yesterday. He actually pitched well, but again, the pitch count got him, which seems to be a trend for Wade Miley. 105 pitches to get through 5 innings.
Yeah, I like the way he threw the ball yesterday. I think ultimately a nice little backdoor slider there from Ubaldo. But ultimately it's going to be more of can a pitcher minimize the damage? The big innings have hurt this ball club. Take a look at the Mercedes pitch cast here. Little backdoor slider just catching the edge. Ubaldo getting the call. Even up this count.
And he got him. Outstanding pitch down and in. And Cabrera goes after it for a swinging strike 3.
Not sure if he meant to ride the 4-seamer in there. Typically he'll bring the 2-seamer back, but that one stays true, 91 miles an hour. And I think Cabrera may be thinking it was supposed to come back over. Nice pitch by Ubaldo, well executed.
2 away, he's not out of it yet. Here is Eric Hosmer. .321 batting average. He comes in with a 5-game hitting streak. 4th in the league in batting with that average, and he has more base hits than everybody except Jose Altuve. He is 2nd in the league in base hits.
Yeah, he has been mashing all season long, but boy, what a month of July he had. He had 13 multi-hit games to lead this ball club. You see his 5-game hit streak right there at 478. Seeing the ball very well, driving it all over the park.
93 with good movement.
Yeah, well located as well, down and in.
Now, Hosmer's a free agent at the end of the year. He's 27 in his 7th season. And with the Orioles acquiring Tim Beckham prior to the game today at the deadline. Here's the pitch, and there's a called strike. 1 and 2. Hosmer and Beckham are kind of joined throughout their careers because they were selected in the same draft. It was Beckham, the #1 overall pick in 2008, and Hosmer went 2 picks later, #3 to Kansas City. Pedro Alvarez was in the middle. There goes Kane, and the pitch is high, and he'll steal 3rd base. Ubaldo forgot about him, and Kane takes 3rd on the steal.
Well, this team will definitely run. They've got some speedsters. Merrifield at the top. Kane's running this season. And you see him with the quick, easy jump. He would not attempt to steal that base if he didn't know he could get it in his back pocket. He did. Ubaldo a little bit slower. And a lot of it slower, actually, to home.
2 and 2 on Hosmer. 2 men down. Upstairs, ball 3. Hosmer 3 Gold Gloves, and without a doubt he will cash in somewhere in the offseason.
A proven winning player.
Well, that's what this Royals organization is. I mean, the bulk of this team, the team that went to back-to-back World Series. So Ned Yost as a club, they've been through the wars. They've been through the challenges. And the difference is that slow start. Even with that slow start, I mean, they were 22 and 30 going into June, and they were still only 6 games back in the division. Slice down the left field line. That's a fair ball, and there's a 2-out base hit to get a run in. So Hosmer using the whole field, heads to second. Kane scores, and Kansas City gets a 1-0 lead.
Well, and it's that swing right there that separates Hosmer, his 21st double of the season. And this guy's got 16 home runs, but he uses the whole field, and he will back a ball up and drive it better than anybody. This is not a great pitch, but look how he stays on top of it. Keeps the barrel above his hands and slaps it down that left field line. That's an impressive stroke for a big fellow there. Good bat control, obviously. 2-out RBI on the end.
So Kane would have scored anyway from second base, but easily from third. And here's Salvador Perez, the catcher, and he'll take a strike. Perez has a 5-game hitting streak, and you see the 21 home runs. His career high is 22, so he will, without a doubt, set a new career high in homers this year. Pops this one up. Scope calls off Rickard, and Jonathan is there for the out. And Kansas City settles for a run. We head to the bottom of the first. Due up for the O's. Adam Jones, Manny Machado, Jonathan Scope. Let's get a look at the Birds lineup, brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Jones, Machado, and the scorching hot Jonathan Scope. He had a good year in July. 337, 9 home runs, 27 RBIs. Mancini in the cleanup spot again. Davis, Joseph, and Rickard. Tejada is at short, and Gentry another start. He's in left field batting ninth.
And let's take a look at Danny Duffy's pitch arsenal this season. Four-seam, curveball, changeup with the slider. And a pretty good secondary pitch. He'll work it at the bottom of the zone, get a lot of swing and misses. Of course, loves to elevate the fastball as well, work the top of the zone. He doesn't like to drive it to the bottom, but thighs and higher with the four-seam fastball. 3.56 earned run average on the year. 79 punch-outs and 28 Ks. 100 hits, but look at the bottom there. Only 7 home runs given up. Very stingy in that regard, and lefties only 188 on the season.
Adam Jones leads off here in the first. Birds down by a run. And he'll take ball one. Adam coming off a 7 for 28 road trip with 1 home run. It was a solo. But he really has been swinging the bat very well. Pops up the changeup. Shallow center field. There's Kane for the out, 1 down. Well, Mike, one of the reasons, and this is without Manny Machado hot with the home run ball, this is how the Orioles have turned it around. Home run in 13 consecutive games. They've got 8-5 in those games. That's the longest active streak in the majors. 22 homers in those games. Only Kansas City has hit that many. And how about the diversity? Look, 6 different players with at least 17 home runs, most in the league, and 14 different players have homers. So yeah, they live by the long ball. They're starting to get it. Well, this is what this team is. They've been built around the home run, and things are starting to come together. You know, I think everybody's starting to get a little healthier. It's nice to see Chris Davis back in the lineup. Get Trumbo back hopefully soon, but yeah, the offense has got to carry this team. I mean, they've got to put up over 5 runs, maybe more on each given night, and the home runs have to be there, and they have to be there from the first inning till the very end of the ball game. A big reason why this team's had success is their late inning heroics with home runs. They're going to have to continue to do the same thing here in the last couple months of the season. Well, the O's have 50 wins on the year, and they've homered in 41 of the 50 wins. So that number alone shows you how critical it is for the Orioles in their scoring to hit the long ball. Here's the 1-1, swinging a line drive towards the gap, left center field. That heads to the wall and bounces up against the wall. And Manny's heading to second base, and he'll have a 1-out double. So Machado now with a 3-game hitting streak. He's starting to heat up. Oh yeah, he's looked better and better. Squaring up more balls than not.
22nd double of the year. And here is that slider. It does not finish. It stays in the middle of the plate. Manny catches it out front. Fortunately for Duffy, that ball wasn't elevated. It smoked into the left center gap. And Machado, one hop in that wall.
So Machado in scoring position with one down. And here is the RBI machine, Jonathan Scope. Good changeup, 0-1.
Oh, it sure was. Jonathan Scope, yeah, 9 home runs in the month of July, most of any month in his career. He certainly has been mashing, hitting homers, hitting for average, and driving them in. A team leader. Just about every offensive category this season, only coming into his own.
And he lays off the changeup outside, a ball and a strike. He has been very, very consistent. And that's what you ask for a hitter. Especially a hitter who is in the number 3 spot. And most major league lineups, the manager puts who he thinks is the best hitter in that number 3 spot. There was a nice moment on the road trip when the team was in Tampa. Jonathan last Monday was named the player of the week in the American League. And I asked him if he'd be nice enough to come on the radio pregame show. And he said, yeah. And as we were walking out to the dugout, he passed Scott Coolball, who was in the batting cage, and he insisted that Coolball come on the interview with him because he wanted to thank him for all he has done for him on the year. I thought that was such a nice gesture.
There you go.
He wanted to say, you know what, it's because of him and what he's taught me that I've been able to become this type of a hitter.
Yeah, well, I think Jonathan's really starting to take things to heart, and just more focus in his learning.
Off the end of the bat, Kane has to come in on it. And he's got it for the out, 2 down. Machado has to hold.
Some nasty changeups there in that at bat. And take a look at the Royals defense here behind Duffy, Gordon, Kane, and Cabrera. Roaming the outfield here. Escobar, Merrifield up the middle. Moustakas and Hosmer on the corners. And Perez doing the catching tonight.
Well, here's Trey Mancini's 2nd consecutive game in the cleanup spot. Mark Trumbo, before the game, was placed on the disabled list. It was described as a right rib cage injury. And that move was necessary because Jeremy Hellickson had to be activated for tonight's game. And of course, Mancini in this cleanup spot. No one in the American League better in these situations with runners in scoring position. He's batting .413 with a chance to drive in a run.
Yeah, a couple home runs on the last road trip. He stayed consistent most of the season.
Manny's trying to get to third. Perez the throw, and he is out. Manny thought he got in there, but the third base umpire, Sean Barber, said, nope, Moustakas got the tag on. The Orioles are going to wait to see if they may want to challenge this before the Royals head off the field.
Yeah, I don't know if Moustakas was too confident in that tag either.
Yeah, it looked like he missed it.
Nice job by Manny. Avoiding the tag there. There's Moustakas just a hair late getting to the base. Help Manny get in. Puts it down.
Yeah, he missed him. He missed him. If the Orioles challenge this, it should be overturned. Pretty good throw by Perez.
Oh, real nice play.
The Orioles are not going to challenge. So Machado out at third, and that will end the inning on a strong throw by Perez. We head to the second, 1-0 Kansas City. Additions acquired on Saturday night, and today he was able to throw a bullpen session with Roger McDowell. And of course, when the Orioles starters throw their bullpens, all the other starters are there for support as they watch their new right-hander Jeremy Hellickson, who was acquired Saturday night. The trade was announced after the game in Texas.
Good stuff right there. Obviously getting the support of the rest of the rotation. I think some of the all the arms really ought to just bombard him with questions. He's had success throughout his career and some of his experiences. Of course, a real good changeup, a nice breaking ball as well. So teammates can pick up some things, maybe some tricks of the trade on the veteran arm.
Moustakas leading off here. 1-1 the count on him. Moustakas is on his way to break the Kansas City single season record in home runs. And it's amazing that Steve Balboni, who hit 36 home runs for Kansas City in 1985, that has held all these years, 36 home runs. And Moustakas at 30 as play begins tonight.
Oh, that Kauffman Stadium, no joke. It's a big park. But Moustakas making all ballparks look small this season with his 30 bombs.
And there's a base hit to left. So again, going with the pitch. There's a leadoff single for Moustakas.
A pretty nice piece of hitting right there by Moustakas. Not all about the power. Take a look at Ubaldo here on 4 days rest versus 5 or more. Of course, Ubaldo working on 4 days rest tonight. The number's not too encouraging. 10.71 earned run average. Only one win, and the opponent's hitting .333. When he gets 5 or more days, that .457 earned run average. And how about the opponent's hitting just .239? So Ubaldo really got to dig deep here tonight and trust the fingers that Caleb Joseph puts down. And just try to continue to mix and match against this tough Royals offense.
Brandon Moss goes through it on 1.
The key really with most Orioles starters, especially this first half of the season now, just the ability to minimize the damage. Too many big innings pop up here and there and take the team out of it and end up jacking a starter's pitch count up. So when those opportunities arise, 1 or 2 good pitches, you can help minimize those big crooked number innings. And if he can't get deep into a ball game, and it seems to be the common trend here with the Orioles, you take the 5 good innings. The bullpen's strong and healthy right now, and everybody throwing well out there. It's a matter of the offense, and they overcome some of those big deficits.
Well, there's not much difference this year with Ubaldo, lefty versus righty. Lefty's a little better, and they've hit more home runs than the right-handers. But if he's on his game, it really doesn't matter because of the way his ball moves. If that fastball is being thrown for strikes, all the other pitches really come into play. Weekly popped up, and that's going to head back into the crowd. Brandon Moss, a veteran, picked up to add some veteran presence from the left side. He's in his 11th season, and he has been around Boston, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Oakland, Cleveland, St. Louis, Kansas City. He must have some collection of team luggage.
Yeah, everybody needs the left-handed bat, especially a veteran bat, that supplies some power.
And Yost now in his 7th full season as the Royal skipper. And pops up the off-speed pitch. Long run in for Gentry. And he tells Manny he has it, and he does. And 1 away in the second. Back to first is Moustakas. Well, 2 great fan giveaways this week features the Orioles all-star second baseman. Now tomorrow, all fans receive a Jonathan Scope t-shirt, and the players wore that during batting practice tonight. Then on Saturday, first 25,000 fans 15 and over will receive a Jonathan Scope bobblehead presented by Ocean City, Maryland. For your tickets, Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD.
Jonathan Scopier, all-star second baseman, leading the team in about every offensive category, bobblehead, t-shirts. Man.
Ball 1 to Alcides Escobar, Kansas City shortstop.
Escobar having an off year. One of the few bats in this Royals lineup that's kind of not catching up to the pace.
Which is why he's lower in the lineup than when we saw him in Kansas City. He does have a 2-game hitting streak.
Yeah.
4 for 8. But Whit Merrifield has taken over as the leadoff hitter. Doing a real good job. Strike at the knees. That's a good place to keep that. 2-1 on Escobar. Ubaldo 5-5 in his career against Kansas City. A little late on the off-speed pitch. 2-2. Since Ubaldo rejoined the rotation, he has made 8 starts and he's gone 3-5. And he had that stretch where he would win 1 and lose 1 and win 1 and lose 1, and now he's lost his last 3 consecutive. And Buck Showalter knows for the Orioles to get hot, they need the starters to pitch well. Here's a double play ball. Scope. Tejada fires to first to get Escobar, and Ubaldo gets out of it. Nicely turned by Scope and Tejada. Tejada had a long way to come. He was deep in the hole, but gets there in time to turn 2. Has won $500 for being selected and will win $500 more for every Orioles home run hit in the game tonight. You can play Home Run Rich's scratch-offs and win up to $50,000 or enter non-winning tickets for a chance to be the contestant of the game. Visit mdlottery.com/homerun. Trey Mancini will lead off. He was up when Machado was thrown out at third to end the first. And Duffy gets ahead 0-1. Trey has a 2-game hitting streak going. He has an RBI in his last 2 games. Cooled off a little bit since the break, but he has the kind of swing, Mike, that slumps really, they're not prolonged with Mancini. He uses the whole field. He knows how to get out of it.
Oh, he sure does. And what's gotten or surprised me, just the consistent approach. Very rarely does he get outside of himself, meaning he doesn't really go after the baseball. He trusts his approach. He's quiet in the box. He picks up the foot, sets it down.
He was all over that hanger, but he pulled it foul.
Yeah, just incredible plate coverage. Very tough to pitch to. And he's up there to hit. He isn't about taking pitches. If it's across the plate, or a pitch he likes, he's going to be swinging.
Well, Duffy ahead 1-2. Kind of amazing with Duffy how he keeps the ball in the ballpark wherever he pitches. I mean, he hasn't given up a home run at home in his 7 home starts. He spent about 5 weeks on the DL this year, and here's the home runs, Mike. This is just incredible.
Yeah, that just a .62 home run rate. That's the fewest allowed in 9 innings. Or one of the fewest allowed. Of course, over 100 innings pitched, and he's only given up 7 home runs. Pretty impressive.
Well, how about this? He's made 16 starts. 12 of those starts, no home runs.
Right.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I mean, the way the ball's been flying this year.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the ability to change speeds.
And Mancini gets a base hit on a 1-2 pitch. Off-speed pitch, speeded up the bat. So there you go, Mike. Mancini down in the count, doesn't matter. Fouls off a couple of pitches and a base hit.
Yeah, nice job handling the changeup. Take a look here. Saw a bunch of pitches, well located, bottom of the zone, but keeps the hands back. That is the key. And of course, big guy. So using the length, a little bit fooled by the pitch, but able to stay through the strike zone a little bit longer with the long arms and hammer it through the 5-6 hole.
A couple of guys from Florida there. Mancini and Hosmer. Brings up Chris Davis. Chris is the only left-handed batter in the Orioles lineup tonight. Of course, they only have 2 left-handed batters active, but Chris plays every day, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, Duffy's had some great success this year against lefties. Lowest averages in the league, just 188. A lot of teams are just avoiding putting lefties in there against him. He's been so good. He's only given up 2 extra base hits this year to lefties.
Duffy seems concerned about Mancini. A long look at first. I guess Duffy's heard about that 1 stolen base, and here's the shift. StatCast powered by AWS. Of course, when Davis is up, you see this every at bat. Moustakas the only infielder on the left side. Left center field. He got a lot of it. Kane is back at the wall, reaches up, and he made the catch. What a play by Kane. And Mancini back to first. Yeah. And a salute from Duffy to Kane. He salutes him back.
Quite a play right there. An incredible swing here on the changeup from Crush Davis, and he's aiming for the Orioles bullpen. But Kane, their ideas right there, sprinting back to the spot, actually taking the home run away. What a play on Gold Glove center fielder.
Davis can only smile.
Man,
that one looked like it was going to head out. Nice play by Kane. Quick throw to first, and Mancini back. You have to be very careful with Duffy because he can pick you off. He's got 3 this year, and 2 of those have come in his last 3 starts. Caleb takes a strike. Caleb having a real good year. You see he's right under 300 at 298. He's got a 3-game hitting streak going. And in his last 8 games, Mike, he's batting at a 379 clip with 2 homers and 6 RBIs.
He's been locked in. He found a nice little approach, back to an approach that obviously works very well for him. He's quiet in the box, limited head movement. That is the key for Caleb.
Skies this one to shallow center. There's Merrifield, the second baseman, and he has it for the out. Mancini back to first, now with 2 men down. On Saturday, the Tigers will be here, and the first 25,000 fans 15 and over receive a Jonathan Scope bobblehead presented by Ocean City, Maryland. Then on Sunday, all fans will receive an exclusive Orioles card set presented by Topps. For your tickets, Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. There is Mr. Scope. That's a popular spot in the dugout, that
right
end of the dugout by the railing. Here's Joey Rickard batting 7th tonight. First ball swinging.
That'd be nice if Joey could get going a little bit, pick it up down there. Be like an extra leadoff man down at the bottom of the lineup.
Well, he has a real tough job because he doesn't play every day, but he plays enough. And it's hard to keep the stroke really going if you're not getting regular at-bats. You know, there are times when the Orioles will face 5, 6, 7 righties in a row, and it's hard to get them in the game. Although now, with Hyun-Soo Kim traded to the Phillies in the Hellickson deal, that opens up, you know, a little bit more opportunity. But with Mancini playing the bulk of the time in left field and Seth Smith in right against right-handed pitching, not a lot of opportunities for Rickard. That's a good take right there, 2-1.
Good pitcher's pitch. Hard slider at 86 miles an hour, but yeah, a better take by Joey Rickard.
You know, on the 6-game road trip, he only had 12 at-bats. He went 2 for 12 on the just concluded road trip.
Boy, that changeup is coming up big for Duffy here in the early going. Weak fly balls. That one, boy, somehow gets the end of the bat. A good arm sell. Of course, over the top, so everything coming out of his hand looks like that fastball. But, he's taken just enough off the changeup. Become a very useful pitch here in the beginning part of this ball game.
And the 2-2 is ripped into left field for a base hit. Well, he was right on that one after a couple of off-speed pitches fooling him. So the O's have 2 on with 2 down.
Trying to sneak a fastball in there, 95 miles an hour. But Rickard not getting off the heater. Nice AB right there. He's thinking about an off-speed pitch. Boy, that fastball is going to eat him up. Nice swing to keep it going with 2 outs.
Well, if you believe in the law of averages, this is a good matchup for the O's. Ruben Tejada comes up 0 for his last 17. Base hit can get this game even.
Tejada, a rough road trip, but boy, did he swing it on the last homestand.
And again, there's another changeup. Duffy asked for a new baseball. I guess he wants the one that strikes it.
Yeah.
Danny Duffy, 28 years old. He's from California. Had Tommy John surgery June of 2012. Cost him most of 2012 and most of 2013. On the outside corner, 1-1. 2014, his first full season back, he pitched really well. ERA of 2.53 over 31 games. And Kansas City gave him a 5-year contract extension before this season. So one of the younger players they wanted to try to lock up. Time requested by Perez at the plate. So Ted Barrett pointing at the catcher.
Yeah, he earned his way in there into the rotation. He was making some spot starts, working out of the bullpen after the surgery, and yeah, they trust him as a starter now.
This will be a much different looking team next year.
Pitching coach Dave Island likes what he's seen out of Duffy.
First and second, and 2 down. The O's down by a run. Ball 3.
Nice a bat going. If the Orioles are going to have a successful series here against the Royals, the bottom third is going to have to come up big. You know, turn the lineup over, come up with some big hits, put some pressure on the starting pitchers. A good start with Rickard getting the knock. Now Tejada working a good AB.
And Gentry waiting on deck. Ball 4. And for a struggling hitter, that's a real patient at bat as Ruben takes the walk. That'll load the bases with 2 down.
Yeah, sometimes really hard to take that walk when you're struggling. Those base hits and help build the confidence, but a walk sometimes, if you do it the right way, and Tejada did there. Very quiet in the box, just seeing the baseball. Hopefully this lineup can turn back over.
Here's Craig Gentry. He rejoined the team yesterday in Texas and did get a start and had a couple of hits. He went 2 for 4 yesterday. The bases loaded and 2 down. And he popped them up. Changeup on the first pitch. Escobar at short, puts it away for the out. So Duffy gets out of it. Ostrand, the bases loaded in the second. For the achiever in you. The sun reflecting off the windows of the warehouse. Lights have not yet taken effect. While going back to work, he allowed a 2-out RBI double to Hosmer in the first for the game's only run.
I always missed out on a big opportunity there in that last inning with the bases loaded. Baldo, let's have a quick one here. Get that offense back in there.
Here's Alex Gordon, the number 9 batter. And he promptly hits one down the right field line. Long run for Rickard. Gordon makes the turn. He's thinking 2. And the throw is late. So Gordon thinking double out of the box. Hustles in the second base. And gets in the scoring position leading off here in the third.
Yeah, Gordon, slow offensive year. Just over 200. A pretty impressive swing here. Jumping on the first pitch. Hooking it down that right field line. A big hit in yesterday's ball game. A triple actually helped their team pull out a comeback win against the Red Sox. Gordon get this thing going the right way. Nice try by Joey Rickard cutting that ball off, but spiked it a little bit on the throw in.
Whit Merrifield, the leadoff hitter, up for his second at bat. Breaking ball inside, nearly hit him.
Now, Merrifield has been a huge cog in this offense this season. Look at those numbers: 298, maybe 11 home runs, 45 RBIs. Nice on base percentage there, but steal bags at the top. Yeah, big time table setter.
2-0 the count. Well, Baldo gives up his share of hits. He's averaging about 10 per 9 innings of work. And Gordon's base hit the 4th for Kansas City early on. Center field. Jones has to retreat. That will enable Gordon to tag. Gordon heading towards third. And the throw is not in time. Our Coons.com league leaders. When you're talking cars, you're talking Coons. Best record since 2013.
Yeah, how about that? Kansas City Royals right there, just behind the Indians, and they're the Orioles. And, you know, we've talked about the success the Orioles have had since 2013, but boy, these Royals, they made a move one winter back in 2012. They ended up picking up James Shields and Wade Davis and really changed their organization around back to a winning caliber team. You see the winning percentage at .541. They went to the World Series in 14 and ended up winning the World Series in 2015. In large part, those big trades there to pick up Shields and Wade Davis and kind of turn the franchise around, get them back on the winning track.
And interesting that the top 3 teams on that list considered small market teams.
Right.
And still getting it done. Lorenzo Cain takes ball 2. Cain got the rally going in the first with a 1-out double. Duffy and the Royals with a 1-0 lead. Ubaldo looking for his 5th win, and again, it's all about the starting pitching because the Orioles are hitting again. Gordon at third with 1 down. Popped him up. Scope will call off Davis. He has a better angle, and Jonathan has it. Big out for Ubaldo. 2 men down.
Yeah, nice fastball right there, just riding in hard on the hands of Cain. Can't get the arms extended. Ubaldo's fastball kind of surprising the Royals hitters right now. A couple pitches get in on them.
Caleb out for a quick chat. And came back to the bench 1 out of 2. Well, that's the thing about Ubaldo, Mike, is his fastball when he's on is very effective, especially because he throws a variety of fastballs. Melky Cabrera back with Kansas City, his 2nd tour with the Royals. And his number 53 was available, so he's wearing it. He's worn that his entire career.
Wow.
Down the line, foul.
Ubaldo got him on a 4-seam fastball in the inside corner in his first AB for strike 3. And that time there, the 2-seamer that came back. He was waiting on it. Just foul down the right field line.
This is a good pickup for Kansas City. Switch hitter. And grounded to first. Davis is there. Unassisted. Ubaldo gets out of it. Leadoff double, man left. Mid-third, 1-0 Royals. Baseball break brought to you by T-Mobile, and here are some of the recent trades as the trade deadline came and went at 4 o'clock. The Yankees did get Sonny Gray. They gave up 3 prospects for the Oakland right-hander. The Astros got Francisco Liriano from the Blue Jays. He'll go in the bullpen for Houston. Nori Aoki and Teoscar Hernandez go to Toronto. The Indians get Joe Smith back from Toronto, a couple of minor leaguers, and the Red Sox got Addison Reed from the Mets. Addison Reed for 3 pitching prospects going to New York.
Wow. Just getting more pitching there in Red Sox Nation. The Red Sox, I don't know, they may need a little more help than that. Been struggling a little bit. A lot of drama going on up there in New England.
Here's Adam Jones. Machado and Scope following this 1-0 game. Adam showing bunt.
You know, a team that's kind of gone under the radar, with all this trade talk, the Rays. They kind of started everything. They landed that Hechavarria to play shortstop. Went on and got Dan Jennings and a reliever, Lucas Duda, on the Mets. I mean, man, they made some moves quietly.
Well, they are very much in the race. 3.5 back of first place New York as play begins today. Unfortunately for the Rays, they had an opportunity and dropped 3 of 4 in New York to the Yankees. Well, they finally got a win yesterday to avoid being swept. But the one thing with Tampa Bay is their starting pitching gives them a chance day in and day out. Adam Jones to center field. Kane is back on it. At the wall, he'll make the catch. Wow, the ball is just not carrying. Again, that ball was well struck off the bat, and the ballpark holds it.
Yeah, good swing by Adam Jones. Got behind this one. I hope it got off the label because I thought that was going to be about 20 rows up. Just kind of nestling in there on the warning track. And Kane, he thought it was going to go a little bit deeper as well. Haul it down for the first out.
Kane has been busy. That's his 4th putout already in this game. Manny doubled his first at bat. It's ball 1. Duffy 43 and 39 in his career, but what jumps out at you, Mike, is the career ERA is 3.69. So that shows you how often he keeps his team in the game.
I know Buck Showalter was talking about his repertoire of 3 quality pitches, and typically he'll come to the game with all 3 working.
It's off the end of the bat. Hosmer's out there, and he's got it for the out. And 2 down here in the Oriole 3rd inning. For every Orioles walk, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50 to support the American Diabetes Association. The Orioles have drawn 271 walks for a total of $13,550. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and a more active lifestyle. My first O's game. What a cutie. That is great.
Yeah, it's only great because you don't have to get up and feed him.
Hey, I've been there.
I know.
It was a long time ago, but I've been there. Yeah, nothing better than them 3 a.m. feedings.
Oh. Yeah.
You got to do your part. The wife can't do everything.
I know. Oh, trust me, I know.
2 outs, nobody on. Now back 1-1.
I think Duffy kind of epitomizes the modern day pitcher. You know, good fastball, even though he locates probably better than most. Get it up there in 95 or so, but mixing the changeup and the slider most of the time, especially righties. You know, he'll throw probably less fastballs tonight against the right-handed hitters, and more off-speed pitches. I just think that fastball play up. Not that it needs a lot of help. 94 right there at the bottom of the zone.
Well, because he can throw all 3 for strikes, he can really play off the eagerness or the anxiousness of the hitters. And we saw that with Gentry with the bases loaded last inning. Went after the first pitch looking for a fastball. It was a changeup and he popped it up. That was foul down the line. 2-2 on Scope.
Well, I don't think many hitters, especially in this Oriole lineup, they're going to be sitting on a changeup. So you have to have a good position, or at least get yourself into a good hitting position to handle the changeup, much like Trey Mancini did. You know, he was behind 2 strikes. He was able to keep the bat back. Scott Kuba obviously getting in every hitter's ear about that. You know, you got to be prepared to handle that changeup, so don't just sell out on a heater every time. Especially when you got a pitcher that mixes it up as much as Duffy does. You have to stay back and see the ball and not overcommit, because that's when he makes hay.
So Scope works the count full 3-2. Weak ground ball off the changeup. Look at that action. And Scope is going to reach. That was a cue ball reverse spin. It got past Duffy and then it got past Escobar. A great pitch with a bad result.
And take a look right here. The change. Schoop gets out in front, spins away from Duffy. Can't handle it off the mound, and then Escobar maybe plenty of time to use the glove. I always get a little, I'm not going to say upset, but concerned when I see a middle infielder, especially a ball moving like that. Have a little bit of pace on it. Why can't you use the glove? I mean, these guys have incredible transfers, glove to hand.
Look out. Mark Jacobson has ruled a base hit because of the difficulty of that play.
Take a look at the pickoff and a little quick step off. He's trying to get Jonathan Schoop napping a little bit over there.
Went too far according to Ted Barrett. 0-1. Trey singled his first at bat. He's now hitting 3 in a row. The batting average back over 300. 1 for 2, so they don't run on him. Trey Mancini went from having to make the club in spring training to here on the 31st of July batting cleanup.
Right.
The other thing Duffy does that seems to make him effective, Mike, is how long he takes between pitches. You know, the hitter's got to be thinking, you know, how many signs can he look for? But it must be for strategy.
I think at times he does. I think with runners on base, I think most pitchers tend to slow down a little bit.
Trey again fouls off a good pitcher's pitch to stay alive.
And Duffy primarily, he'll throw more off-speed pitches when he gets runners out there on base. And here, just trying to set up a pickoff move. You know, of course, Mancini very dangerous now in the 4-hole with his home runs. So if he can lull Schoop to sleep over there, maybe just a surprise pick move and get a cheap out.
Mancini a pesky at bat here.
He is seeing everything. And not only is he seeing all the pitches, fastball, changeup, and that slider, but Duffy's moving around on him. He's worked away, he's worked up and away, tried to work down and in with the slider.
Two and two.
Perez liking it, executing the slider. He wanted it on that back foot, especially in the dirt. So you show a couple hard sliders down and in there. Potentially can open up the outside corner. Or you can rush a fastball in.
This will be the 7th pitch, and he got him. Another outstanding changeup. A 2-out single, to man left. We are through 3 pitchers in command. 1-0 Royals. By the all-wheel drive RAV4. Toyota, what drives you? Visit buyatoyota.com for great deals. Lovely night in the Inner Harbor. Real nice summer night. Great night to watch a ball game here at Camden Yards. O's are home for a week beginning tonight and then head out west for a 10-day trip. This is game 4 of 20 straight days without a day off for the Orioles.
Well, they're going to have to play some good baseball here at home. I mean, this is an important home series here. Obviously, reverse the trend against Kansas City. Kansas City won 3 at the first meeting. The Orioles play their best baseball here at home. And, to be able to kind of shut down one of the hotter teams in the game can help build the Oriole confidence for sure.
Well, the Orioles are 30-21 at home, so 9 above, but they are 13 below on the road. And that's the difference between the O's and the Royals. The Royals are 500 on the road. So the usual way you go about it when you approach a season is you try to dominate at home and hold your own on the road. The Royals, they haven't exactly dominated at home, but they're 7 above at home at Kauffman Stadium. 3-1 on Hosmer. Perez and Moustakas will follow.
So these kind of counts right here. 3-1 that Hosmer will use the whole field. Sometimes pitchers think they're safe staying away from Hosmer, but man, I saw him whistle one down that left field line.
Leadoff walk. Leadoff man gets on for a 3rd straight inning for Kansas City. Fans, we hope you can help us support the patients and the families at the University of Maryland Medical Center by attending a special fundraising event for Shannon's Fund. It'll be held on Friday, August 18th, right here at Oriole Park. Now, ticket packages begin as low as $50 and include a game ticket and an exclusive pregame barbecue on the center field roof deck. For tickets and more information, Orioles.com/Shannon's Fund. And there's the roof deck, where we'll get together with Mrs. O'Baker as we do every year, Shannon's mom. 1-1 on Perez. It's always a nice event.
It sure is. Well, beautiful people up there, and of course Shannon's mom is awesome. Makes us feel very comfortable.
Slow roller, may be tough to turn 2. Scope tries anyway, and just in time, Perez beats the throw. Wow, was that close?
I think any infielder knows, and just get it in the hands of Jonathan Scope, you got a shot. Tata tries to get a little bit of momentum going on that power feed from underneath to get it in Scope's hands. Look at how close it is at the end. Just a half a click away. Get Perez for another beautiful double play.
Manny critiquing him as always. Scope responding.
He's saying, let's go, clean that one up, man.
They have so much fun during the game. And it's fun to watch. Whichever one makes a play, the other critiques it. Good change up there. Moustakas swings through it. Moustakas a base hit. Opposite field, leading off in the 2nd. He goes change up fastball and gets ahead 0-2.
Yeah, got to keep him guessing and off balance. It seems those days of doubling up and tripling up, you have a really good changeup. Those days seem to be gone. Seems like just fastball, slider, change, slider. It's constantly mixing up pitches. And if you have that much in your arsenal, it's a smart way to go.
Well, without a doubt, Ubaldo uses everything he has. But again, if the fastball isn't for strikes, the others aren't as effective. And that was effective. That looked like a splitter. And he gets a strikeout, 2 away.
Yeah, easy work right there. If they could all be this easy. Gets ahead with the changeup and a high fastball. And how about this splitty right here? Saw the grip, more pressure on that index finger, pushing it away. Moustakas. Looks like a fastball out of the hands, but man, great movement down and away.
2nd strikeout for Ubaldo, 2 men down. There's Brandon Moss, the DH. Able to check his swing. Ubaldo 2 strikeouts. He's walked 1. 1 run on 4 hits. And the difference in this game so far is Kane robbing Davis of the 2-run homer. Ball 3.
Good try though, working that fastball up at the top of the zone. A good hitter's count. But, showing a good patience.
Pops it up. Adam Jones in center. And he's got it. So Baldo, leadoff walk, and a man left, mid-4th. PEREZ come to bat, down by a run. If you're a minor league pitcher, here's how you get noticed.
Boy, you got that right. Throw up a month where your earned run average is 0. Yeah, scoreless July for Alex Wells. Look at these numbers. 5 starts, 3 wins. Nothing for an earned run average in 31 innings pitched, 13 hits, no walks. That's impressive. 26 strikeouts and holding opponents just that 124 batting average. 36 straight scoreless innings. Pretty impressive stuff by the young Aussie. Only 20 years old. Yeah, maybe pitcher of the month. I would say his whip is .93 for the year. 9-4 with a 2.29. But wow, that is an impressive month. I don't care what level you're pitching at.
Ball 1 to Chris Davis. Joseph and Rickard will follow. Chris robbed of a 2-run home run his first at bat. Came one up over the wall by the Orioles bullpen to make the grab. Check swing, and it's outside. Didn't go on the appeal.
A nasty slider here, down and away, but the crusher. Whoa, gets the call his way.
He sold it.
Yeah, he did. Just look down, like he didn't do anything.
Strike at the knees, 2-1.
A pretty impressive swing there in his last AB, and a home run taken away. Staying on a heater, driving it.
Fooled by that one. Davis nodding yes. I swung. Instead, Barrett pointed to the bat. Very gentlemanly to help the umpire,
right?
Especially when the call goes against you. And you see the shift, as always, against Chris. And he got him. Real good breaking ball.
Yeah, that's a tight finish right there. So tough to get to. And it starts about thigh high. The finish here. Strike all the way until the bitter end. And then dive bombs out of the zone. A good look right here. Just out in front by the crusher.
Second strikeout for Duffy, and they come back to back. He struck out Mancini to end the third. Caleb at 297. And the way Buck Showalter has been using Caleb and Wellington Castillo, it's benefited, I think, both, Mike, at the plate. Mile high pop up to shallow left. And Escobar makes the grab for the out and 2 down. And because of they don't play, alternating, Wellington still gets more starts, but because Caleb has been playing more often than you would expect a backup to play, he's been able to keep that stroke.
Absolutely. Keeps them both fresh. Wellington had a great road trip, 6 RBIs, picked up a home run, and Caleb as well. I think when both bats are clicking, it's a manager's dream. Then it comes, who does the starter want to throw to? Really feel comfortable with that night.
Joey Rickard takes a strike. Joey a base hit to left field his first at bat. Royals with a 1-0 lead. First inning run knocked in by Hosmer. And another base hit for Rickard. He owns Danny Duffy.
Nice job in his first AB turning on inside heater. Gets a hanging breaking ball. He pounds to left field.
Fans, we invite you to text Massen's word of the day, which is Hopkins, to 29292 for your chance to win an eat and greet lunch with Buck Showalter. That's Hopkins to 29292, brought to you by Johns Hopkins Orthopedics, serving the community for over 125 years. That gets Tejada up for a second time. Ruben drew a walk his last at bat to load the bases. And then Gentry popped up to end the inning. One and one. Well, there will be still quite a bit of roster movement for the Orioles. With Tim Beckham acquired from Tampa Bay today, he'll be added to the roster whenever he gets here, and I would assume that would be tomorrow. Tampa Bay is in Houston, so he could get on a plane from Houston to get here. There's Mark Trumbo, who was placed on the DL today. That made room for Hellickson. And a toss to first to Chase Rickard, who is a stolen base threat. But you still got Ryan Flaherty rehabbing. He'll be back soon. Anthony Santander, the Rule 5 player, he has to be added eventually. And there's the 20-21 day rehab period. Right. 1-1 pitch is low, and then there's J.J. Hardy, who eventually will work his way back. He had an appointment with the hand specialist today to see the progress of the break. They're still waiting for the soreness to get out of there. But so the month of August is there's going to be quite a bit of roster change for this team as the team heads into September.
It sure is, and they got to make sure they do it the right way. As far as potential, there's going to be a lot of potential losing players. If they have to make those kind of roster moves, take guys off the 40-man.
Tejada is making his 14th consecutive start at shortstop here tonight. And it's a bloop towards Merrifield, and he gets to it. Broken back. So Tejada is sawed off. 2-out single, a man left through 4. 1-0 Royals. first start for the O's in his Oriole debut on Wednesday, and prior to the game he met the media in the clubhouse and he said he was glad to be in position to fight for a playoff spot.
I've been part of teams that came back from 9 back in a month, so it's definitely doable, and it's always fun to come back to and, you know, do things that people say you can't do. So it'll be a fun 2 months.
Yeah, well, he's been through it. You know, he was with the Rays when they came back. They were 9 games back, and they erased that in September. Yeah, so encouraging to hear the confidence there. And, you know, the Orioles not that far back. He can make a big difference, potentially.
Well, he is a winning pitcher, 67 and 63. And he is 22 and 15 within the AL East. And that's what you look for, pitchers that understand how tough it is to pitch in this division. And in September, it's almost exclusively AL East matchups for the O's. 1-1 on Escobar. And fans may have noticed Jeremy's locker there in the Orioles clubhouse. Number 58. He's always worn number 58. And when acquired by the Orioles, Donnie Hart was wearing number 58. But as a younger player, less experienced player, Jeremy Hellickson was able to get his number. So Donnie Hart, there's Donnie on the left. Hey, the lefties hang out together. Richard Blyer there. Well, Donnie is now 57.
Oh, I thought he said, the heck with it. I'm not even going to wear a jersey. Got his pullover on.
Strike 3 called. And Escobar down on strikes.
Good fastball in after a couple off-speed pitches to get into the count. Take a look at the location here. Driving it downhill. A little movement working in on that inside edge. Escobar not liking the call.
Presented nicely by Caleb.
Yeah.
Not framed. Presented. Sounds better.
Yeah, Caleb gets a lot of those calls. He really locks it up with the glove.
Breaking ball for a strike to Alex Gordon, who peeks back at Ted Barrett. He thought it was low. Gordon doubled in the third, was left stranded. Kansas City has stranded 3 in this game, and 2 of them have been in scoring position. Hosmer was left at second in the first, and Gordon was left at third in the third inning. Although able to work out of some jams, and it's been pretty pitch efficient. Strikes him out, gets ahead and blows it by him. And when you're ahead, Mike, I guess the 91 looks 95.
Yeah, he's been pitching backwards. That seems to be kind of a common theme here lately. Off-speed pitches early and helps that fastball play up, especially at the top of the zone. Love to see him working up there. And Caleb given the high target and executed perfectly. Back-to-back strikeouts for Ubaldo.
4 Ks, 1 called, the backwards K.
Just the 1 walk. More important for Ubaldo. Only 2 in his last start.
Did you write the K backwards on your scorecard?
I didn't. I shouldn't I?
Well, no, I can't. I just can't write it.
You can't write it backwards, Jay.
I can't do it.
Got to do it left-handed.
Yeah, maybe. So I just put K and an L for looking.
Ah.
But the backwards K is the symbol for a called strike 3. Wilder gets ahead of Merrifield 1 and 2.
Key to throwing strikes right there. Get the swing on that split finger. You don't want to get deep into the count. You'll be swinging a little bit earlier.
And 1 and 2 on Merrifield. Came sidearm. Here's a different look. 6'5" coming sidearm.
Right. On occasion he'll do that. Change the arm slot. And take a look. Tucks it down a little bit. 3/4. Makes that slider swoop across that outside edge.
Darren O'Day does that regularly.
Look at Brock talking about it right there.
Struck him out, and what an inning for Ubaldo Jimenez. His first clean inning. He retires the side 3 up, 3 down, striking out all 3.
Manny Machado trying to make something happen in the first after a double. He gets thrown out. Nice play by Perez, the Gold Glove catcher. How about Crush Davis driving one into the Oriole bullpen, but Kane there to take it away. Traveled 72 feet and 96.2% efficiency on the route. How about Adam Jones driving one? It looks like it's out as well, but there's Kane again, taking one away. Deep right center. Orioles limited in their opportunities. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com to see how much you could save.
Craig Gentry leads off in the O's fifth. Shows a bunt and takes ball one. Danny Duffy has struck out two. He's walked one. And he's allowed 5 base hits. Duffy has yet to have a 3-up, 3-down inning.
Huge at bat right here for the Orioles with Gentry. Potential get on. Good speed.
Pretty good bunt. Duffy spins and has no play, and now he's called out. Did he run into the ball?
He's not arguing, so it must have caught him coming out of the box. Take a look right here. A little push bunt attempt. Gets the bat head out in front as he comes out of the box. He is right in front of him. Catches him on that right knee. And everybody in the infield pointing. Angel Hernandez, first base umpire, recognizing as well. Ball gets pushed back into the infield. Nice idea by Gentry. Unfortunately, gets the body in the way.
And Angel Hernandez, you saw there, the first base umpire, he immediately saw it and called it. So one down on the failed bunt attempt. Perez will get the put out there. Adam Jones, couple of fly balls to center field, one to the warning track in front of the bleachers. He should try to pull it and keep it away from Kane.
Well, Adams looked really good. Talk about Caleb Joseph, some of the other Oriole hitters have been swinging it so well, keeping the head still. Adam has been getting behind the baseball as well as I've seen him all year long. Talk about his ability to drive it to right field, but even how he turns on the ball right now, really control of his body, letting it travel. Look at that frustration on a pitch he knows he should have drove. He's getting himself into a real good hitting position.
He is just 2 for 21 against Duffy. I'm sure has quite a few of those against opposing batters. But Adam has been consistent. Last 12 games, 11 RBIs. Hard at ball, but right to Moustakas, who plays the hop. Adam retired, 2 men down. Fans, when the O's score, you score at McDonald's. The more the O's score, the more Chicken McNuggets you score. Download the McDonald's app today. Here's Manny. Duffy is an out away from his first 3-up, 3-down inning. Manny doubled to the wall in left center field, his first at bat. Machado now with a 3-game hitting streak, and he's really swinging the bat well since the break. He's just not hitting home runs. I mean, and he's too good and has too good of a track record for that to continue.
Well, it's all a process, really, for every hitter. And I think Manny's just kind of getting back to controlling his body again, controlling his strike zone, not getting too big. And to me, Manny looks as good as he has all season long, even though he's not hitting the home runs. The ball's coming off the bat as hot as it did the first couple months when he was hitting his home runs. And I think like everybody, hoping that Manny has a real strong, next 2 months.
Fouls off the changeup. Well, he's batting .317 since the break. He does have 6 RBIs since the break, working with Scott Coolball to get that swing more consistent. And he's gone now 75 at bats without a home run. His last home run was July the 7th, a game in which he hit 2 home runs. Goes the opposite way. That ball is trouble. Cabrera's going to have to run it down. Manny's thinking two. Cabrera gets to it quickly, fires in, and Machado hustles in with a double.
Well, that is the swing right there that defines his offensive approach here through the month of July. This is a nasty changeup on the outside corner. He stays on it, doesn't get caught out in front. But the power to drive it opposite field. Nice tight turn around first base to get in there safely. What a swing by Machado. Here's the changeup turned over and maybe even off the plate. And, incredible bat control. If he's trying to hit a home run right there, he'll pull off that ball. Might be a weak pop-up or a swing through. But the way his approach has been here lately, I mean, that's a money swing for Manny Machado.
24th multi-hit game. Each hit in this game a double. And you run on Melky Cabrera, you got to have a good giddy-up around the base. He has 9 assists already this year.
Yeah, he played that really well off the wall. Nice strong throw in, but Manny, a nice tight turn around first base was the key there.
The time run at second with 2 down for Scope. Jonathan reached on an infield hit in the third on a changeup that was cued off his bat and reverse spun past the mound, and Escobar tried to barehand it and it spun away from his hand. So the Orioles leading RBI man. Chance to get this game even. Takes a strike at the knees, 0-2. He didn't like the call.
Well, you know what I think he was more upset about? The fact that he let that fastball go by. Well, he was outthinking himself there. And because Duffy's been mixing up his pitches, he has not really doubled up with the fastball, but back-to-back heaters to get into the count.
Loop to center field. That ball's going to fall for a base hit. Here's Machado around third, and he will score, and the game is tied. Scope comes through with 2 men down. 2-out thunder here for the O's, a double and a single, and we are back even at 1.
Boy, what a piece of hitting by Jonathan Scope. Manny and Scope tag team, and here, nasty changeup down and away, fading down and away, and Scope staying through it, keeping the hands back. We talk about the length, about everybody in this lineup. They might get fooled, but they have the ability to keep that bat head through the zone just a hair longer than most. Scope coming up big again. The Orioles on the board.
Go to first, will chase Scope back. So Jonathan, 77 RBIs.
Pat Scott Cuba over there making Manny feel good about that swing on the changeup. Changeup away, and he covered it. He was in a good position.
Mancini singled in the second, then struck out in the third inning. Well, when the Orioles and Royals got together in Kansas City, the Royals swept them. But Mike, all close games, all 3 decided by 1 run. Look how close it was. Kansas City out hit the Orioles 327 to 264. Team ERA a little better, but 3 one-run wins for Kansas City. This ball backs him off the plate.
Now that series seemed to catapult the Royals.
Ubaldo has kept the Orioles in the game, and now it's back even. We're tied at 1 in the 5th. I'm not sure how he made contact on that one.
No, I just taken it out of the glove there. Good changeup. Missed his spot a little bit though. Gave Mancini a chance.
A 1-2 on Trey with Scope at first. And he got him. Smothered by Perez. Gets it to Hosmer for the out. Orioles rally. 2-out RBI hit by Scope to get this game even. Federal, proudly serving the armed forces and their families for over 80 years, federally insured by NCUA. Beautiful night for baseball at Camden Yards. Flowers in full bloom, and the kids are having fun. Let's go O's.
Where's the S? He sat down.
He's out getting them hot dogs. Let go O's. Let go O's. Ubaldo, 5 strong innings, very pitch efficient. You see 71. Kane, Cabrera, and Hosmer here in the Kansas City 6th.
Well, Ubaldo throwing strikes with everything tonight. I see some frustration in the Royals offense. Can't quite pick out a pitch.
One and 2 on Kane, who scored the Kansas City run in the first. He doubled with 1 down, driven in by Hosmer with a 2-out double. Lorenzo Cain, part of one of the best trades the Royals have ever made. Just got a piece to stay alive. He came to Kansas City in the Zach Greinke trade, which also yielded Alcides Escobar, who was still their shortstop, and Jake Odorizzi, who was then traded to Tampa Bay when Wade Davis and James Shields went to Kansas City. And he got him. Looked like another real good splitter.
Man, a nasty sequence here. Lorenzo Cain, fastball up and away, and splitty on the outside corner. Wow. Well done by Ubaldo. And nicely done by Caleb Joseph as well. Yeah, that is the split finger on the outside corner.
6 strikeouts, including the last 4. Ubaldo's retired 6 in a row. Melky Cabrera back with the Royals, making his Kansas City debut tonight. Picked up in a trade with the White Sox, who are trading just about everybody.
Yeah, they did the really the only team to do the complete rebuild. They've been talking about it. It was true.
Ned Yost, his team is built to win now. Who knows what happens after this year with all the free agents they have. Cabrera being one of them, Cain being one of them, Hosmer being one of them.
Yeah, this whole team was basically being talked about after that first month.
Three and 1 on Cabrera. And he got in the sky to center field. Just about where Adam Jones had him played. And 2 down here in the Kansas City 6th. Fans, on Wednesday, August 23rd, mark it down. The A's in town, and it's senior day, an afternoon start time at 3:05. All fans 55 and over are eligible to purchase a special ticket package, which features an Orioles Super Plush throw blanket. For tickets, Orioles.com/seniors or 888-848-BIRD. I qualify for that.
Would you rather have the throw blanket or run the bases?
The blanket. With my knees, yeah, definitely the blanket. Because then when I ice my knees, I can keep warm.
There you go.
Hosmer's been on base twice and drove in the Kansas City run. And there's a base hit up the middle. Up in the zone, he didn't miss it. So Hosmer 2 for 2 plus a walk. He's on with a 2-out single. Ubaldo had retired 7 in a row before that base hit.
Well, lucky that one was just a single. Elevated pitch. Many times that's about fence high.
Here's the blonde Salvador Perez. He's 0 for 2. He is the team leader on this team. Outstanding player. 27 years old, out of Venezuela. He made his big league debut at the age of 21 in 2011.
Yeah, it didn't take him long to become a team leader. He's a backstop, has that kind of control. Of course, putting up the numbers that he's putting up doesn't hurt either. 21 home runs this season.
Got under it. Gentry broke back, now comes in. And Ubaldo puts him away in the 6th. So a 2-out single and 1 left. Our Honda do-ups: Chris Davis, Caleb Joseph, Joey Rickard in the 6th. Good game, 1-1 as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Well pitched by each starter, Duffy and Jimenez. Orioles about hit Kansas City 7-5. Chris Davis will lead off. Joseph and Rickard to follow. This waves at a breaking ball, 0-1. Man, does he sell that pitch?
Yeah, he sure does. And he locates it well. He hasn't made a mistake with the pitch to Davis. Everything on that outer third or down.
Royals have a very interesting defense against Davis here. Of course, they have the shift on in the infield with the 3 infielders on the right side. But look at that gap in right center field. Look where Lorenzo Cain is. Well over towards left center.
Well, if he wasn't positioned there, he wouldn't have had a chance at that home run he took away. Davis's first AB.
If Chris hits a line drive over the head of Escobar, who's on the second base side, it's going to roll forever. There's just nobody out there.
The Royals thinking that if he elevates a ball to the right side of the field, it's typically going to be a home run, probably up in the flag court and beyond. In the opposite way, a chance to stay in the park.
2-2. And he got him, another breaking ball. 4th strikeout, second time he's been able to get Davis.
Slider coming up big again. Look at the finish. Starts as a strike. It's like a fastball across the knees. Dive bombs down and away. A well located slider to get Davis.
Strikeout number 4. 9 balls in the air, including the one that Cain robbed Davis back in the 2nd inning. Grounded to 3rd. Moustakas will get Joseph and 2 quick outs as Duffy retires the first 2. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Beautiful night here at Camden Yards. And here's the hit machine. Joey Rickard 2 for 2 with 2 singles hit with authority to left field. Duffy has never won a game here at Camden Yards. 4 games, 3 starts. He is 0-2, despite an ERA in this ballpark of 3.24. Chopper Escobar has to charge, and he'll get Rickard. And a 3-up, 3-down inning. First one in the game for Duffy. Ubaldo back to work in a 1-1 game. Be on the mound against the right-hander Ian Kennedy. Our coverage on MASN 2 begins at 6:30 with those extra presented by Southwest. Then game coverage at 7 o'clock. We've got all the access you need right here on MASN.
And take a look at tomorrow's starters. Ian Kennedy, that 4.43 earned run average, taking on Dylan Bundy. Bundy looking for his 10th win of the season. And, hopefully kind of keep this starters trend going. Oh, Ubaldo having a gem tonight.
Ball 1 to Moustakas. Well, Bundy leads the Orioles in wins with the 9. Kevin Gausman now has 8. He's outstanding as of late. Michael Gibbons has 7. The Vulture.
Just in the right position at the right time.
Michael actually thrives on that. You know, coming in, keeping a game as is, knowing this team can explode offensively at any time. Remember last year, Zach was healthy all year, so the 9th inning was Zach's. Brock had 10 wins, Gibbons had 8. I mean, that's a lot of wins by 2 relievers. Here's Michael out there in the bullpen.
Yeah, both very versatile too, and used to pitching in those high leverage situations. I'm sure there were a lot of calls about Gibbons.
Oh, no doubt about it. He has closer stuff. And he's getting better with experience. And from 3-0 to a full count of Moustakas.
Oh, good pitch. 3-1 change right there. Moustakas.
Weak pop-up near the mound. And Ubaldo's going to grab it. He loves catching those pop-ups. Ubaldo has it and 1 away. Fans, lock in your Birdland summer. You can reserve your seats for upcoming promotions, including the 25th anniversary Oriole Park replica ballpark, the Orioles cap presented by DAP, an Orioles hooded sweatshirt, and much more. For tickets, Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. Oh, look at the sweatshirt this year. It's got the orange sleeves and the orange hood. That's pretty cool. Here's Brandon Moss, who is 0 for 2. Robaldo's retired 10 of 11. As he works here in the 7th inning.
Oh, looks good. He's working fast. He's throwing strikes. He's mixing up his pitches. You can kind of see the frustration starting to mount with the Royals hitters. Just guessing wrong. Waldo filling up the strike zone with everything.
Well, he has walked only one batter. Been able to get Moss on a couple of routine fly balls. And 3-1. Looking for his 5th win. He hasn't won since July 9th prior to the break in Minnesota. Full count on Brandon Moss.
He's got a good feel for the change tonight. Straight change and the split finger. He's not afraid to throw it any time during the count.
So full count with 1 down. And he lost him. So the second walk puts the go-ahead run on with 1 out here in the 7th inning. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Orioles. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. Let's go O's. Alcides Escobar. He is 0 for 2, including a double play ground ball to end the second. Runner going, and the ball's pulled foul. So Ned Yost playing hit and run here in this tie game.
Well, you figure late in the ball game they're going to kind of push the envelope a little bit. Nothing to wait for when you're on the road. And Moss put in motion. And this Royals team very good coming back and winning. Especially late in ball games. Did it again yesterday.
Well, they have 31 come from behind wins, which ties Toronto for the most. And of course the Royals don't have Steve Pearce hitting grand slams all over the place. Right. 31 of their 55 wins come from behind. Moss was leaning, but he gets back. Michael Givens now beginning to get loose. Valdo about to throw his 100th pitch. He could sure use a double play ball.
Well, he just can't concern himself with that base runner.
There it is. Tejada to Scope, back to first. The tag, he got him! What a tag by Davis as the throw sailed. Chris Davis, Gold Glove play again. Tejada got it to Scope. Escobar hustling, the throw sailed, and Davis with the tag to complete the double play. 7th inning stretch at Camden Yards in a 1-1 game. on the bench goes over to Ubaldo, congratulating him on a fine start. So the night appears to be done for Ubaldo. Here's Tejada leading off in this tie game. So the O's need to get a run so Ubaldo could qualify for a win. As well as he pitched 1 run over 7 innings.
Yeah, beauty. Back-to-back beauties by Ubaldo. Command of everything. There's his battery mate, Caleb Joseph. They worked well together tonight.
Peter Moylan, a right-hander beginning to get loose, one of the 8 in that Kansas City bullpen. They're going with a 3-man bench, and Michael Givens continues to get loose, so he'll come on in the 8th regardless. Very good take there. For Ubaldo, 7 innings, Mike. His first 7-inning start since June 29th when he went 8 innings in Toronto in a win.
Yeah, could see him smiling a little bit down there.
Well, he's telling Gausman, see, I could be as good as you.
Yeah, both on a little roll right now.
Deep left field, down the line, towards the corner. It is foul. Just down the line, foul. Oh, it's that close. Looked like Tejada gave the O's the lead.
Wow, nice swing. Oh, that was close. Take a look at the swing here from Tejada, pulling the hands in tight. Just a little bit of a bend there on the end. It was just in front of the foul pole. So close.
Tejada has not yet hit a home run since joining the Orioles. And 2-2. Outside, ball 3. Tejada trying to get on, leading off here, representing the go-ahead run. Give Ubaldo a win. Danny Duffy has been equally effective here through 6 innings. And he gets him. Big swing and a miss.
Just moving the fastball around there at the end. We'll take a look at 93. Working up and away to get Tejada. After yanking that first fastball just down that left field line. Stays away. It's strike 3.
So Tejada back to the bench. He's 0 for 2. Here's Craig Gentry, the number 9 batter. Gentry popped up to short with the bases loaded to end the 2nd. And then he tried to bunt his way on in the 5th. And as he left the batter's box, the ball bounced up and hit him on the knee, so he was out. If Gentry can get on, that gets the go-ahead run with a lot of speed on. To turn the lineup over to Jones. And Duffy now at 100 pitches.
Yeah, it would be nice to get that speed on there. If he doesn't steal a base, extra base hit can score him from first.
For Duffy, his season high in pitches is 108. Back on May 18th against the Yankees. Dave Island watching closely. And he chased a changeup. Back-to-back Ks to begin the 7th at 2 down.
A pretty good pitch. He tried to protect that outside corner. Looks like it's going to stay on that outer edge, but turns that changeup over. He's been dotting that fastball away. Look at that late fade on the change. Nice pitch.
Nine fly ball outs and now 6 strikeouts, including the first 2 here in the 7th. Adam Jones has flied out twice, once to the warning track in right center field and bounced out to third. 28-year-old Danny Duffy, drafted in the 3rd round in 2007. He made his big league debut in 2011 at the age of 22. And made 20 starts that year, went 4-8, and was establishing himself as, okay, we're going to help build with this young man. And then came the Tommy John surgery the following year. Adam trying to time that changeup, and he pulls it foul.
Yeah, 2-0 change right there with the good sell. Good arm speed. Hasn't made a lot of mistakes with that pitch. Hasn't made a lot of mistakes through this whole game.
And one mistake, Kane bailed him out when Kane robbed Chris Davis of a home run. A 2-1 with 2 down. Another chopper to third. Moustakas throws high, and Hosmer kept his foot on the base. Nicely done by Eric Hosmer. So Duffy is through 7 innings, a 3 up, 3 down 7th. He has retired the last 7 in a row, and outstanding footwork there by Hosmer to keep the bag. 1-1 game through 7.
But another sensational start. Up 7 innings, and he had everything working. Nasty breaking ball there. How about the movement on the split finger, but the fastball moving everywhere, riding up and away from the lefty. How about up and in on Merrifield? Not red hot hitters, but the splitty and the change. Not big on the right-handed hitters. 6 punch outs tonight. A nice outing following up career or season high 9 punch outs in his last outing, eating up 7 innings and scattering just the 5 hits. Now it's time for the Jiffy Lube pitching change. Jiffy Lube stores now do brake services. Stop in and let Jiffy Lube perform a free brake inspection today. Well, Michael Givens out of the O's bullpen, and he has been dominant lately. Talked about his 7 wins, 193 earned run average, but how about a .64 earned run average since the end of May? And the rest of the numbers here. Opponent's hitting just 195. The lefties only 154. He's been working on the changeup this season, and it has become a huge secondary pitch against the lefties. Playing off that 96 and up fastball.
Alex Gordon 1 out of 2 with a double. Kansas City has stranded 4. Orioles have stranded 6 in this tie game. And Ubaldo benefited from a couple of double plays. Joaquin Soria now getting loose for Kansas City. So Ubaldo gets through 7 innings. Danny Duffy also through 7 innings. Ubaldo now 5 starts of at least 7 innings, second most on the club. Strike 3 called. Dylan Bundy has 6 starts of at least 7 innings to lead the O's.
He was hearing about that changeup that Givens came up with. Gibbons saying, I'm not going to waste any time with that. Here's 97 up and in. Gordon looking. Nice pitch right there.
Yeah, that shows you the change of the strike zone over the years, Mike. That was right at the belt, and Gordon thought it was high.
Right.
Right there. A little bit low. Here's Merrifield, the leadoff man. Merrifield, a lot of speed. Chases 96.
Yeah, important to keep him off the base paths. Their team lead with 17 stolen bases.
Well, Gibbons is working on 10 consecutive scoreless appearances. Bunted, it goes foul. And as Mike mentioned, in his last 23 games for Gibbons, 2 runs, both on solo home runs, in 28 innings. And in those 28 innings, he has struck out 34. Just an amazing dominance over a long period. Covering now 23 games.
You know, he is the power pitcher, a strikeout pitcher.
And he got him. Look at that slider.
Yeah, with some weapons. That slider 88 miles an hour. Got the good movement, and it seems like he's been able to manipulate the break on this pitch. Control it a little bit. Just enough to get Merrifield out in front, gearing up for 97 and up. How about the location, though, all those pitches? Yeah, you see Merrifield's bat getting out in front of that slider.
So Merrifield, who was a hot hitter coming in, 0 for 4 in this game. Here's Kane. Bounces the slider to short. Tejada's right there, gobbles it up. Very quick 3-up, 3-down inning for Michael Gibbons. 9 pitches, retires the side. The Orioles second with Mancini on at first. Chris Davis, a home run effort, but back to the wall goes Lorenzo Cain, and he robs Chris Davis of what would have been a 2-run home run. That would have given the O's an early lead, and all Chris Davis could do is smile, and a tip of the cap from Lorenzo Cain.
Now, sometimes you got to laugh to stop from crying. Well positioned, though, defensively. And take a look at Danny Duffy's numbers out of the ball game after 106 pitches thrown, but 7 strong innings as well, scattering the 7 hits, only 1 run on the board, just 1 walk, 6 punch-outs for Duffy. He'll give way to Joaquin Soria. No, Moylan coming out. Excuse me, Peter Moylan. Yeah, Moylan, this will be his 50th game. 4.42 earned run average. Yeah, Moylan's been pitching pretty well with the fastball 89 to 92. Good slider change combination, but primarily fastball slider mix. First batter just 146. Start the inning off.
They'll face Manny Machado, who's really heating up. He is 2 out of 3. And he has scored the O's run. And the breaking ball bends in there for a strike. And Manny now with a 3-game hitting streak going. Picks up his 24th multi-hit game of the year with the 2 hits tonight. And Manny has never faced Moylan, which is strange. And even Joey Rickard's got a couple of at-bats against him, but Manny's never seen him.
All right.
0-2 as he swings through the breaking ball.
Yeah, Moylan kind of used as the righty matchup guy right now out of this bullpen. That sidearm slot.
And he got him. Went back to the same pitch.
Oh, well located right here. Of course, adding the deception coming from the side. But if you can locate a slider like that, yeah, pretty good success. Starts all over the dish and just works off that outside corner. You see Manning just out in front.
Jonathan Scope drove in the Orioles' only run in the 5th. That tied the game. He has 2 hits on the night, adding to his team lead. He now has 36 multi-hit games. And let's get a look at our Lexus of Towson drive of the game. Go back to the 5th.
Yeah, it's Jonathan Scope staying on a nasty changeup with 2 strikes. Of course, Manny Machado with the double, able to score that lone run for the Orioles offense.
Lexus of Towson, the area's #1 volume Lexus dealer for 7 straight years. Come see why at lexusoftowson.com. Two and 1 the count. You can see how locked in Jonathan is the way he takes pitches.
Yeah, absolutely. He isn't jumpy at all, and really hasn't been all season long. Nice and quiet in the box. Letting the ball come to him.
That ball's cued. Easy play for Moylan and 2 down. So 2 quick outs here in the 8th. FansMLB.com at bat. It's your #1 mobile app for live Orioles baseball. Stay connected with a fully customizable experience. Get Orioles home screen icons and app features, as well as game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcasts, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat today. 2 down in the 8th. Here's Mancini. And that slider.
Yeah, Mancini trying to ambush a fastball right there.
Ryan Buchter getting loose. And Mr. Britton is getting loose for the O's. Zach will likely pitch the 9th regardless. Home team has an advantage. You could bring your closer on for the top of the 9th and hope to walk it off if it's tied. Yes, fans, he is still an Oriole. Despite, I'm sure, numerous phone calls to Dan Duquette today.
Saying thank you for not trading Zach. Or, oh, you're talking about other teams asking. I thought fans were calling in. Hey, Dan, thanks for not trading.
I don't know how many fans calls Dan does take. Maybe he does. I don't know. Mr. Britton was in demand. But the Orioles are going to make a run at it. All 3. Real good at bat here for Mancini.
Well, the ability to make adjustments has helped him all season long. See the big numbers against the righties, 319 with the 13 bombs. Get a mistake here.
Now it's towards 3rd. And Moustakas gets Mancini, and the Orioles go 3 up, 3 down for a 3rd consecutive inning. We head to the 9th in a 1-1 game. In from the Orioles bullpen to a nice ovation. O's fans obviously happy that he is still here, and I know the Orioles and his teammates are happy he is still here.
Absolutely, he's consistent closer, record-setting closer. 19 games this year, perfect 8 for 8 in his save opportunities. Converted his 55th consecutive. Recently, how about the numbers? They'll all come down. First, that batting average, opponent batting average got elevated that first month of the season. Still stayed perfect in his save opportunities. Here, just trying to put a 0 up.
They face the switch hitting Melky Cabrera, then Hosmer and Perez. There's a chopper to third. Manny was up close. One pitch, one down. Oh, Davis dropped the ball. And safe at first is Cabrera.
He broke his glove. And went through the webbing. Exploding glove trick here. Manny cutting it loose. Let's take a look.
Wow, right through the glove.
Ended up hitting his hand on the backside. Dang.
Oh, you don't see that very often.
No, that is a tough break there. Just a routine out. Boom. Just bust right through the webbing.
Well, that glove will have to be repaired. So that'll have to be an error on Davis to allow the runner to reach. So the go-ahead run is on. That is a tough break. Zach is working, by the way, for a third consecutive day. Hosmer takes low. He picked up a save on Saturday night. He faced one batter, 3 pitches, 2 strikes, and then he picked up a save yesterday. 2/3 of an inning. He faced 2 batters, 10 pitches, 7 strikes. So only 13 pitches combined the last 2 games. And the chopper foul, 1-1 on Hosmer. One for 8 with 3 Ks against Zach.
He's nasty on everybody.
Joaquin Soria getting loose in case this game remains tied. Herrera the closer in case the Royals get the lead. There's a double play ball. Scope, Tejada, Davis. And that erases the error and 2 down.
Yeah, nicely done. Nicely done by Zach Britton. Keeping the focus, pounding the bottom of the zone. Good movement. You know, a ground ball is coming. Oriole infield is ready for it. Jonathan Scope, the power underhand feed. Catching Tejada on the move across the bag. A little toe kick at second base. And on to first to get Hosmer.
Third double play turned by the Orioles in this game. So here's Perez with the bases empty. A little bit low. Sharply hit foul. Ball and a strike on Perez. You see Perez wears number 13. He's from Venezuela. That's a very popular number with the Venezuelan players. And down the line, he thought the ball girl got hurt.
Yeah, he pulled that one hard down the line. And turning on Zach Britton.
He's fine. Had it all the way. It hit the facade and deflected out into shallow left field, but she went and got it. So Britton ahead of Perez, 1 and 2. Those will have Davis, Joseph, and Rickard due up in the bottom of the 9th. Seth Smith, a left-handed bat available off the bench. Two and two. Bases empty with 2 down. Little bit low. That's a real good take.
Yeah, really
that was a borderline pitch, at least from our view here.
That's exactly where Zach wants to put that pitch. So Perez sticking with the game plan here, trying to get him elevated.
And he got him, strikes him out to end the inning. So Perez took the prior pitch, chased one that broke out of the zone, cement mixer sinker. We head to the bottom of the ninth. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. What a game. 1-1, bottom of the ninth. O's with a chance to walk it off. Zach Britton with Richie Mancells on the bench. And here comes Joaquin Soria.
Take a look at Soria here. One time was in that closer role. Man, look at that. Just 1 save and 8 opportunities. So much better as the setup man. 4 wins, 3.20 earned run average. Opponents hitting 235. Righties just 196. Lefties way up to 282. But only giving up the 1 long ball. Works that fastball low to mid 90s. It's a very firm split change. He throws high 80s into the low 90s. But good movement. Good two-seam type movement. Occasionally you'll see a curveball.
And Davis will take a strike. Fastball right there. There's the shift. Merrifield out there in shallow right field. Outfield very deep. Foul tip got a piece of the catcher, Perez.
Slow curveball. 70 miles an hour here. Slow the crusher down a little bit, but he's waiting on it. A good swing on that curveball. Catching a piece of Perez, though.
In the dirt, 1-2 on Davis. Rivaldo and Zach comparing notes. Looks like they're still talking about that one pitch he threw the 3 quarters.
Right.
Against the shift, but there's Moustakas. And the third baseman gets Davis for the first out. And Davis 0 for 4, including robbed of a home run. Brock getting loose in case this goes extras. So the defense back to straight away on Joseph. Caleb is 0 for 3 tonight, but he's been hot.
And should get rewarded. They're working a gem back there. Waldo and then Givens. Zach Britton.
That's a bloop, and that's going to fall. Winning run is on. They're playing so deep to protect against doubles that that one easily fell in for a base hit.
It is not. Nice little swing by Caleb Joseph. Pitch kind of leaking back inside. Look at the hands pulling in tight. Right elbow. Looking it tight to the right side. He's well aware of where that bat head is.
Now here's Joey Rickard, who's had a good night. 2 singles. He's also grounded out. Ooh, late call by Ted Barrett. Wow.
Hasn't been calling that low strike this whole ball game. Helping Soria out on this one. Oh boy, that is really low.
Really, one of the few he's missed all night. Well, Soria went lower.
Right.
One and two. Interesting outfield defense here, Mike, for Kansas City. Alex Gordon in left. Look how far over towards the line he is, which gives Caleb both gaps. Or excuse me, Joey. And look how much room in right center field for Rickard.
Well, there's a lot of room out there, but Joey Rickard, his first 2 swings went down that left field line in the 5-6 hole. A little line drive that ended up working right out to Gordon.
Popped up back this way. Rickard facing Soria. First at bat against the veteran right-hander from Mexico. He's now 33 years old. Made his big league debut in 2007. Right field. Cabrera into the corner. And he has it for the out in fair territory. So 2 down here in the bottom of the 9th. Kansas City's bullpen has been pretty good. They're 4th in the league. Their combined ERA is 3.73, and Tejada has to face a pitcher who has a lot of weapons. Ryan Buchter is up again. Dave Eiland, the pitching coach, anxiously looking on. Tejada is 0 for 2. He's also walked.
Just missed a home run, though.
Yes, he did.
Inches.
Barely. Ball 2. Now, it could be that Buchter is getting loose because of Smith on the bench. If Caleb gets to second, you could see Buck Showalter maybe going to the pinch hitter, and then that would get Buchter in the game. So Buck would have to decide which is the matchup he wants, Gentry against Soria or Buchter against Smith. And there's a base hit, so we'll see what's going to happen. Winning run to second base.
Yeah, nice piece of hit by Tejada.
Snaps his 0 for 19. He gets the winning run to second base.
Good swing once again. Staying short on the inside pitch. Smoking a line drive through the 5-6 hole. Caleb out in the scoring position. little bit of an advantage here with 2 outs. Caleb can a good secondary lead. Get off on the swing.
Caleb runs pretty well. There's really not a pinch running option on the bench because Gentry's in the game, and here he is with a chance to win it. Gordon and Kane are both shallowed up, and there's the lead Mike's talking about. Merrifield trying to keep him close. Ball 1 outside. Orioles trying to win their 3rd straight game and get back within 3 of 500. There's the winning run. Caleb Joseph at second base. 2 men down. Strike on the corner. Gentry is 1 for 2 against Joaquin Soria. Limited at bats. He's hitless on the night. Rejoined the team yesterday in Texas. That ball gets away. I guess a foul ball. Late call by Ted Barrett.
Yeah, just stayed in that left-hand hitter's batter's box there. Nice change from Soria. It's Gentry a little in between. See, trying to hold that swing up. Unfortunately, catching a piece of the bat.
You saw Perez trying to hustle out there, hoping that ball would stay fair long enough.
Gentry just got to get into battle mode. Shorten up a little bit. See the ball, put it in play.
Line drive up the middle, base hit for Gentry. Here's Joseph the score, and the Orioles walk it off. Gentry comes through and the O's win it. And the homestand off to a tremendous start as the Orioles win their 3rd in a row. Gentry with a base hit.
Well, we talked about the bottom of the lineup having to come through big, and they certainly did. And Caleb Joseph staying hot to get this inning going. How about this 2-strike approach? Gets the changeup, stays in the middle. Doesn't try to do too much. Short swing up the middle. And that's all it takes. Caleb Joseph, nice secondary lead, off and running on contact. Dickerson about to carry him into home. There it is. Nice way to start this homestand.
So the Orioles have won 3 consecutive games to get back within 3 of 500. And Kansas City, let's not forget, one of the teams they're chasing in the wild card race.
Absolutely.
So they gain a game on Kansas City as Craig Gentry gets the big base hit to get the run in.
Now, how about Ubaldo start those 7 strong innings, really setting the tone here. It was a pitcher's duel. And as both squared off for 7 strong innings, get to the bullpen. And then it just became a matter of who was going to get the big hit. Tonight it was the Orioles and Craig Gentry.
And Craig Gentry joins us now. Craig, congratulations. Let's see, you've been back about, what, 24 hours? You already got a game-winning hit. This is a big, big game for the O's.
Yeah, it is. You know, coming out and opening this homestand against a good team. And, you know, our pitching did great tonight, and we couldn't push any runs across, but luckily we were able to there at the end.
Boy, you had some tough at-bats tonight. Great idea with the bunt that ended up coming up and kicking you. And then the check swing there on the changeup. How do you keep your focus there with 2 strikes and just battle?
Yeah, that was tough, to be honest with you. It's a little letdown, but you just got to have a short memory and go out there and just keep competing.
That was a great swing.
Thank you.
Now, Craig, with the win, obviously today was the trading deadline. I'm sure there were some anxious moments in the clubhouse. But instead of beginning to break up the team, Dan Duquette did the opposite. What does that say to the players in that clubhouse?
I mean, it just shows they have confidence in us. You know, they're not giving up on us, and we're going to ride this thing out to the end. And I think that filtrates down to the team, and we want to get out and do well for them.
Well, you know that Ubaldo kind of set the tone for this ball game. Pretty impressive outing.
Yeah, that was unbelievable. He did a great job. Came out and you know, just pitched deep into the game and did a great job keeping them off the base paths.
You know, you mentioned get this homestand off to a good start. And the one thing about the O's, they're a very good finishing team. They have been the last few years. Tomorrow's August 1st, so it's time to get it in gear, and this is a good way to start it, isn't it?
I mean, absolutely. You know, you come out with a tough victory right here, and you know, finish off the season. You know, just kind of ride the wave and get some momentum and just keep it going.
Well, congratulations, welcome back again, and we appreciate the visit and big hit for the team. Thanks so much.
Thank you, appreciate it.
All right, that's Craig Gentry, who walked it off with a 2-out RBI single, and the O's get the win. We hope you can join us tomorrow. Game 2, middle game of the 3-game series with Dylan Bundy against Ian Kennedy. Our coverage on MASN 2 begins at 6:30 with O's Extra presented by Southwest, and then game coverage at 7 o'clock. Tonight's telecast has been a MASN presentation. And now for Mike Bordick and our entire hardworking crew, Jim Hunter saying so long from Camden Yards, where the Orioles win it, walk it off. Final score, Orioles 2, Royals 1. Tom and Rick, O's Extra, the happy recap comes your way right now.